Hey, family, Tech man, how's your spirit? Talk to me. Tell me something good. See, we got the New York skyline. We in New York. New York Knicks just took it. I got the Brooklyn Nets joint on, but yeah, the uh the Knicks did their thing, and I'm proud of them. The last time was 53 years ago, and I remember as a kid when they won it. My mother used to take us to these fancy restaurants downtown, and the restaurant was called Oscars. Anybody know anything about Oscars? Look it up. There's an old, expensive restaurant. And I remember coming out after dinner, and it was a Rolls Royce in front of the restaurant. And I've been fascinated. Of course, my name is Rich, so the Richie Rich Mobile. And when we walking out, Walt Frazier's walking in with two white women on his arm. Just getting out his Rolls Royce. That was like heaven to me. You know what I mean? Like, and for him to be a part of another world championship after 53 years, I know he feels fantastic. That's a great achievement in life. So I said, through adversity come change. Anything the mind conceive and believe it can achieve. You just have to put your mind to it. Most people are afraid to face their fears, face things that they're going through, or be truthful to themselves. We go through the things that we go through because it's only through our adversity change takes place. Your choices shape your adversities. Your adversities are your lessons to get you to your blessings. You go through things. Like I tell you, there's no perfect way of life. You know, we just have to go through it and try to be the best that we can be while we're doing it. But we had a five right now, ep- episode five of a 5-part series of why most people don't want to heal or be at peace. Why they're afraid of that, and I get it. Because all the things they've been through in their life, you know, uh, that's what they can relate to. The mind, man is a creature of habit, and when things change, it throws things off. So, welcome to the final episode. Episode five is achieve lasting love. We've covered accepting the wound, releasing the past, appreciating the present, and accepting your new self. Now we're talking about the ultimate goal. Why so many people still run from real lasting love? One of like the reason why I like heal and my just not just because it's my platform, because it's helping everyone accept, achieve, and appreciate love. And a lot of people it goes over their head. Why we have problems with accepting love or giving love, because we really don't know what love is. The forms of love that we've accounted, uh, it's not real love because it's always somebody having an ulterior motive. You know, it's only real love when it's no ulterior motive. And a person generally loves you, and you have genuine love for them. But you have to learn to accept love first, and the only way you want to be able to accept love is you have to understand what love is. And until you understand what love is, you're not going to be able to accept it. Real love. In order for you to achieve love, you have to already know what love is. You know, and once you be able to achieve it, that means you accepted it and you learned what it really was. And then when you get to the stage of appreciation of love, you'll do everything in your powers never to lose it, because love is the strongest force in the universe. It can make you the happiest and it can make you the saddest. Love is God and God is love. And if you keep love in your heart, you keep God in your heart. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. And this is why the devil is winning, because we fall victim to, his, you know, whisper. That's the best I can put it. We fall victim to the whisper. But that's all he can do is whisper, but it works. One, healthy love feels boring compared to intense, chaotic relationships. I know I've never really had one, but kind of. But that's like having one of them girlfriends or boyfriends, they want to bust your windows out your car, or the dude want to fight your new boyfriend, or all the crazy stuff like this. You know, and regular love don't feel right because they've grown accustomed to that kind of stuff. They don't think that you love them if you're not hurting them or fighting or whatever. And this is how life is. I don't make these rules up. These things are what they are. And this is why when you acquire peace, you see life for what it is and people for who they are. And you don't judge. You just understand that's where they at in their life. And that's not where you at. And you have to just keep going. Number two, they've never seen a good example of love, so it feels fake. Like I was saying earlier, most of them don't know what love is. And the love that they feel was too painful. And why it was painful? Because it wasn't real. One thing about love is not going to be painful. Situations might be painful, but love is never going to be painful because, like I told you, love is God and God is love. And if you put love in your heart, you put God in your heart. So the beautiful thing about it, man, is understanding that uh, a lot of people don't understand love because the love that they've acquired over the time has had pain and suffering behind it. So this is why they don't want to change. And I understand it happens. Number three, they push people away before they can get close enough to hurt them. Of course, like I was just saying, pain always comes after so-called love. So they have a misconception of what love truly is because that's not love. A lot of times it's people using other people or, treating people away to, gain favor. It's all kinds of ways. But you have to understand that, people push people away because, they've been going through a lot of pain in their life and they don't know how to deal with that, and they don't want to get hurt again. And it's sad because the person they push away might be the person that can help them, but these are the things that we go through in life. And this is what I'm trying to show you guys. Like, life is not easy. We're going to go through some stuff, but you got to keep your head right and stay focused. Things are going to happen, especially when God is going to bless you, the devil's going to pop up a whole bunch of bull. But what you got to understand is that, man, you just have to keep doing what you have to do, doing the right thing for you, your family, if you have a family. I don't, so I just have to take care of me. And it is what it is. That's how life is. But try to stay positive. Keep a positive attitude, man. Things will work out around you better. I was just talking to somebody earlier, and I was saying about how you know where you're going in life by the people you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with people who are losers, you're gonna be a loser too. You surround yourself with winners, you're gonna be a winner sooner or later. Because see, one thing about it, if a winner's your friend, he's gonna help you win. And see, that's what I want. I want us all to win. I don't care if everybody's okay, man. It's a beautiful thing. Ain't gonna be no wars, no beefing, no nothing. Stay in your lane and just keep it pushing. I get it. Number four, self love feels selfish or narcissistic to them. It's talking about people who don't want to heal or gain peace. And well, you got to understand, the narcissists don't care about nothing. So I get it. Number five, they're scared real love will expose their flaws. and we all have them. This is the thing. A lot of people don't understand. We all have flaws. It's a learning process. It's like I tell you, a little kid when they're young, you tell them don't touch that stove. It's hot. Until he touched that stove, then he's going to be like hot, hot, and he's going to stay away. It's a lesson. Adversities are the lessons that God has for you to get you to where you have to be in life. Your adversities, if you pay attention, shape and mold you to who God wants you to be. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody's adversities are different, but everybody has them. Everybody's purpose is different, but everybody has one. And if you think you don't have a purpose, you're one out of billions of sperm cells that made it. And if you didn't get shit out, spit out, or swallowed, you have a purpose. You made it. So what we have to do is we have to learn from our adversities because our adversities are going to be there. And the adversities you go through strengthen you to who God wants you to be because all it is He's getting you prepared for the things that He has for you. And you got to be prepared. It's how life is. Like they say, you miss an opportunity. You didn't miss an opportunity. You just wasn't prepared for it. So He showed it to you to let you know if you really want it, what you have to do. Like I was saying the other night, going the extra mile. That's the one that wins. Going that extra mile. And like it was saying, like, a lot of times they're afraid to expose their flaws, but we all have them. And all that, the flaws is more ego. And what is ego? Easing God out. That's pride. You got to be vulnerable with somebody. It's just how it go. Number six, loving themselves mean they can no longer play the victim. A lot of people are stuck in that victimhood. And if they come clean, they can't, portray that. So, there's a lot of factors why people don't want to heal and change. But the thing is, what this platform does is help you to get rid of those things that you don't really want in your life, but you're afraid to change. And this is why it's a process. This is why I say it's a program, it's a movement. And the only way we're going to do it, we have to do it together. We can't do it. I can't do this alone. I can come on here every night. And if nobody comes on, nothing happens. Nothing changes, nothing changes. I can talk to people in the street, but if they don't do the work, nothing changes. Oh yeah, and I must tell you guys, uh my book, this is the name of the program, TACC Through Adversity Come Change by me. And I also my workbook just landed on Amazon today. So you can check it out. It's 10.99, Through Adversity Come Change workbook. And go through it, and do some self-help on yourself. I guarantee you to help you. Like I said, it's about us healing, man. We as a people have gone through so much, man, and we still beat ourselves up, and we're our worst critics. So it's time for us to, start loving ourselves so we can love each other, so that we can accomplish some goals, so we'll never be second class, third class, fourth class citizens ever again nowhere in the world. But the only way we can do that is together. United we stand, divided we fall. We divided. That's why we getting our ass tore up. But like I said, inshallah in time. Uh Number seven, they fear being loved because they don't know how to receive it. And in the beginning, like I was telling you, accepting love. A lot of people don't know how to accept it because they don't know what it is. And then a lot of times the things that they thought was love, it ended up being painful, So they really don't understand how to receive love for the simple fact that all the things that they felt that was love was not love. It had pain attached to it, you know. And like I said, these things we all have to work on to be better for each other. Number 8, deep connection requires dropping the emotional walls they've built. A lot of people don't want to feel vulnerable. They don't want to, you know, let people know they have a heart. They want to let people know they have a soul or they feel, because their persona is "Rrr," and it's not like that. It's about peace, love, and happiness, man. It feels better to smile than to frown to me. And they say it's a proven fact. It takes more muscles in your face to frown than it does to smile. So I'd rather use less. Number 9, they worry they'll lose their independence if they let love in. That makes a lot of sense. And if it makes sense, it just makes sense. But we have to try to get past these things. This is what this is about, getting past these things. Number 10, past heartache, heartbreak taught them to love always ends in pain. As I was saying earlier, a lot of people attach pain to love or what they feel is supposed to be love because they were being used, abused, or whatever. Um, and it happens. It's life. It's life. But the thing about it is being able to push past it and do the right thing no matter what. You fall down 10 times, get up 11. You fall down 20 times, get up 21. You just keep always one up it. And you can't lose, man. Because anything that you put enough time into, you're gonna win sooner or later because you're gonna learn everything about it. And you're gonna be able to see it for every angle. This is why I like my program that God gave me, TACC, to adversity come change. Once you go through the 5 principles and you're on the road of change in the past, present, future, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, going through your what's, when's, where's, why's, how, and sometimes who, it's going to help you to go through that transition to see for what it really is. And then you'll be able to show others and help others. This is why I love it, and this is why I do it. It's a part of me because I understand life now. It's only through adversity change takes place. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You know, when adversities happen, things change. It's like nothing, you never get no blessings in peace. You get them in chaos. It's just how life is. 11, they don't trust their own ability to love someone properly because they know themselves. But it's always that someone. It's always that someone that you have to let your guard down that will be there for you, but you have to find them. So, like I said, they've gone through so much in life that, it's hard, but it can be done. It could be done. And 12, lasting love would mean they finally have something to lose. Let me say that again. Lasting love would mean that they finally have something to lose. And, this is how these people think, you know. And see, that's what this journey was all about. Your healer's entire message is helping people accept, achieve, and appreciate love. And if these episodes help you, even a little, please share them, follow, like, subscribe, show to your friends. Because this is going to be a movement. This is a process. This is not just going to be here and there. This is going to continue, inshallah, by the blessing of God. And why I like coming on here and talking with you guys is because, I know how life is. I've gone through so many different ups and downs in life, and I get it. You know, things are not going to always be rosy, but we have to learn to heal, learn to seek peace, in our life, of course. One thing for sure, two things for certain, we're not going to be on this earth forever, you know. And in the 61 years that I lived on this earth, I realized I'm not going to live 61 more years. So I have to let go everything of this world to be able to make it to the next one. And this is why I tell you, I'm at peace. I forgive everyone. I pray they forgive me, but most importantly, I forgave me. And see, this is one of the hardest things, forgiving yourself, because no one beats you down more than you beat yourself down. And I can attest to that. No one judges me harsher than myself. And it takes for you to be able to, like, let go and let God, drive the car. Of course, when we drive it, we always crash. But if he drive it, he gonna take you to where you're supposed to be. Now you may not like where you're supposed to be, but it might be something that you must ask yourself. What is it that I've done to put myself in this position to be where I'm at? And what it is that God is trying to show me? And when you put them two together, man, you got something special, And my thing is just like living right, doing the right thing, and trying to find a purpose that we can all embrace so that we can heal, learn the lies from the truth, come together and build a foundation. This is what we need. We don't need talking, we don't need marching. We need action. You gotta, in order for you to do anything in this life, you gotta play with the pocketbook. And how we do that, we come together. We spend our money with each other. You know, um, it's not rocket science, but we must heal first. And then, like I always said, you must learn the lies from the truth, because you can heal, and a person can keep giving you lies that you don't know, and you'll still be messed up. It's so much that we need to learn as a people, and for us to come together and live right and do the right thing. Only we can do it together. Like I said, united we stand, divided we fall. So this was the 5-part series I had. Tomorrow we're gonna start something else. I don't know, whatever epiphany that God gives me, that's the topic for tomorrow. But I'll let you guys know. And y'all have a blessed one, man. And stay positive. It's only through adversity change takes place. And the only way you can get there is doing the right thing. Like Wallow from May Not Work for Game said, you can't cheat blessings. God knows He's not gonna give them to you if you're trying to cheat. So just live right, baby, and do the right thing. Tack man out. Y'all have a blessed night. And if nobody told you they love you, I'm telling you. Peace.